Hello everyone, my name is Amanda. Welcome to the Birch and Lily podcast and Flosstube. Today is June 18th and this is a podcast about knitting and cross stitch. If you have any questions, all my show notes will be down below, and as well you can find me on Instagram as birch.and.lily and on Ravelry as Birch and Lily. I have lots of stuff to show you guys today, so I guess let's jump right in. We'll start with a couple little and mini type things. Still something to show you, but more admin type. So I have a pattern that's been released. It was released last weekend, and I have one that will be released this weekend. So I guess let's start with the one that's released. This was released last Saturday, I think. This is the Sweet Dahlia shawl that I'm holding upside down. And I should stand up to show this to you guys. So this is the Sweet Dahlia shawl. So really, really easy shawl, super simple lace pattern. It just uses 2 skeins of yarn. In the pattern, I'll sit down. So in the pattern, it calls for a sock weight for this color, and then your lace color, it calls for a skinny singles type yarn, so something that's 100% merino single ply, just so that the lace is even more airy and beautiful. I designed this shawl to be more of like a spring starting into summer shawl, something just to keep you warm but not too warm, not like a big chunky cozy winter shawl. So yeah, it's super, super simple. My test knitters had it knit up in less than a month. Very, very, very easy. I don't know what else to say. The lace, it looks complicated. It's so hard to see without, can I put something behind it? Let's see, here we go. So the lace, it looks complicated, but it's very, very easy. And yeah, like I said, 2 skeins of yarn. It doesn't even go through the full 2 skeins, so there is a note in the pattern on how to make the shawl longer if you want it. But yeah, very, very easy. Good on-the-go knitting. Most of it is just garter and striping. So if you can do that, you can knit this shawl. So yeah, that is up on Ravelry. I will make sure that I put a link for that down below so that you guys can find it. And then I think I had talked about this pattern once before on my podcast, probably a couple episodes ago, so it's probably been a while. But my Kindred socks will be releasing this weekend. So they are just a very, very beginner-friendly, easy cable and mock cable pattern with ribbing, so it will fit you even if you are a little off on gauge or they're a little too big or something like that. The ribbing makes it very, very cozy and very easily, very mistake-proof, I guess. I can't think of the words that I'm actually trying to use, but yeah, very, very easy. So it's all sorts of little ribbed cables, and then if I turn this, there is one, yes, I am showing it. There's one, a little cable that's a little bit larger here. It's basically like a mini staghorn cable is the best way I can describe it. So yeah, this pattern, my plan is to release it on Saturday if all goes well. And make sure you are subscribed to me on Instagram because there will be a sale, I promise you, and it will be a good one. So make sure you don't miss out on that. The sale will probably only be running for the weekend. So yeah, keep your eyes out on my Instagram for news about the release of the Kindred socks. Okay, so now that we've talked about those 2 admin sort of things, let's jump into my works in progress for knitting. We'll start with a new project. It is in this bag. It was a club sort of bag from Woolberry Fiber Co. It was sewn by Lost and Fawned, actually. I don't think she makes bags anymore, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's this beautiful pink on the outside with a beautiful floral pattern on the inside. And the socks that I have in here are the Cliff Walk socks. They are the newest pattern in the Handmade Sock Society version 2, or round 2, by Curious Handmade. And I am knitting them, grab the mini here. I am knitting them out of, no surprise, another one of my Woolberry Fiber Co. Gilmore Girls sock sets. This one is called Biscotti Moment. So it's this beautiful, I would say it's a mauve, a beautiful mauvey toned color with speckles of, there's like orangey brown rusty sort of speckles in here. They kind of match the mini quite well, the speckles. So yeah, I started these 2 days ago, so I haven't been working on them super long, but I've got a decent amount of stuff done on them. The cuff is done. That's the worst part for me. Once I get past the cuff, the knitting is just super fun, but the cuff sucks. So this is what I have so far. It's not tons, but it started, I guess. So it is, I cast on 64 stitches on 2.25 millimeter needles. It is a 1x1 twisted rib, and then I'm actually going to pop these on my blockers just so it shows the pattern off a little bit better. Not that there's much going on yet, but so it's this beautiful mock cable is the best way I can describe it. It's kind of hard to see what's going on right now just because I only have 2 repeats of the pattern. I'm really enjoying it. It's only a 6-row repeat, so I feel like I should have it memorized pretty soon. And then it'll be easy on the go knitting, which is great. And I'm using my Xiaogu mini twist needles. I think I want to eventually convert all of my sock knitting needles over to these mini twists. I just prefer them. The needle tips themselves are nice and smooth and the stitches just glide over them, and this cable is just so much more flexible even than the Xiaogu lace needles, the fixed ones, so they're just my favorite, my absolute favorite. So yeah, I will continue to work on this. I'm really enjoying it. Got hair in my eyeball. I'm really enjoying it and looking forward to working on these. It's been nice to be working through all of my mass amount of Woolberry Fiber Co. Gilmore Girls sock sets. I hope it isn't too boring to just be showing you guys those for socks lately. I do have some new patterns in mind though, so I will be pulling out yarn from other dyers and you will be seeing some other stuff very soon, I promise. So we might as well just work through all of the Woolberry Fiber Co. Gilmore Girls sock sets and get those out of the way. This next one is in a bag by Yarn Candy Studio. You've seen it before. And these are my tea leaf socks by Lindsey Fowler of Lost and Fawned, who made the bag that I showed you before. So I am going to put this on a blocker just because I have quite a bit done on the first sock now. But I will share with you guys the little dilemma that I have going on. So this is what I have done now. I was at this Progress Keeper last episode, so I've got quite a bit done. But the problem I'm having, so this sock has a really long repeat, and you kind of have to do a little bit of math at the beginning to figure out where to place your heel and all that so that the foot itself doesn't end up too long. So I did my math, I thought I had it, but I'm a little off, and the foot ends a little too far down. I usually like it to end at the base of my baby toe, pinky toe, whatever it's called, but it's ending more at the top of it. So I need to figure out how to shorten up the toe, which shouldn't be too hard. I just haven't had the desire to sit down and do it just yet. So I will have to make the toe a little bit shallower than I usually do. But I am loving these otherwise. They're absolutely gorgeous. I love this yarn over detail in the gusset here. And I guess I didn't even say what this yarn is, and I can't remember. I need to look at my notes. So this is Woolberry Fiber Co. Gilmore Girls sock set in I'm Smad. It's on an 80/20 base. It's absolutely gorgeous. I cast on 64 stitches. I kind of wish I would have gone down to 60, but it's not too bad. It's not crazy loose or anything. It's 1x1 twisted rib, a Eye of Partridge heel flap, and yeah, the yarn over kind of lace gusset there. And I will flip this on the sock blocker so you can see the pattern on the whole front of the sock. Looks a little funny, but you can see what's going on there. So it's a gorgeous kind of diamond pattern with these baubles in the middle and some slipped stitches along the edge. And while I'm at it, this cute little progress keeper is from Succulents Miniatures. It is a little pot full of succulents. So yeah, on my usual needles. I don't know if I said that. They're on my usual 2.25 millimeter needles. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I just needed a break from it. I tested them on my foot after I had finished the last repeat while we were watching a movie. And so it was kind of dark in the room, and I just didn't want to deal with figuring out what to do with the toe. So maybe I'll sit down while I'm editing this video this afternoon and kind of figure that out. But yeah, I'm loving these. They're gorgeous, and I can't wait to have the pair finished. So still on the topic of socks, I thought we would talk about both of the vanilla socks that I have on the needles right now, or on my needles right now. So we'll start with my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks for this month. This bag is by the Scrappy Thread. I absolutely love it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I just love the quilting on it. It just makes it even more luxurious. So I have 2 pairs of needles in these socks right now because last night I cut in for my afterthought heel, but I didn't actually knit the afterthought heel. So I have a tangled disaster of yarn going on right now, but that's okay. This is Desert Vista Dyeworks in the colorway Succulents on her sparkle base. I don't know if you can see the sparkles. Super pretty. And yeah, I cut in for my afterthought heel. I use the tutorial by Kirby Burby on YouTube. I usually try to have that link down below if you're curious. And I'll show you the cake here. This is the cake. Super pretty. So yeah, I am getting pretty close to getting this one done. I think I've said before, usually my first sock in a pair, I'll cut the afterthought heel in before I do the toe, just so I know it's in the perfect spot. And then I will put stitch markers in here to count how many rows I did before I put the heel in, so that the next sock I can just knit a whole tube and put the afterthought heel in at the end. So, typical 2.25 millimeter needles. I did a 2x2 rib on here, and I cast on 60 stitches. So I'm enjoying those. They've been my car knitting lately, and I need to get them done by the end of the month, and it's getting really close. So I need to get my butt in gear and get those finished up. And the other pair of vanilla socks that I have on my needles are in my Birch Grove bag, or one of my Birch Grove bags. I love these bags, and this was supposed to be my husband's anniversary gift. Not so much. Our anniversary was June 2nd, but he knows how long his socks take to knit, so he's okay with it. And I have not got much done on these since the last time I recorded. That's kind of shameful. Just that little bit from the progress keeper there. But I thought I would pop them on blockers for you guys, just so you can kind of see what's going on. Or pop it on a blocker. There's only one. They're gorgeous. I love them. I just take forever to knit. And they're not my first priority because I always want to get those Desert Vista Dyeworks socks done so that I stay in the yearly knit along that she has going on. Because if you don't finish a pair of socks every month, you're disqualified. So those are kind of my priority for vanilla sock knitting. I am talking way too fast today. But he'll get these eventually. Maybe they'll be a Christmas gift. Whoops. This little progress keeper while I'm at it is from Random Fandom. Little Yoda. Goes with the yarn perfectly because I don't think I said. This is just a random mini, but this yarn here is from Mustache Yarns. It is her R2D2 colorway that comes out usually May the 4th, and then she'll release it usually if there's a new Star Wars movie coming out. So 2x2 rib, 2.25 millimeter needles, 64 stitches. He has a really thin foot, but a really large foot. And this is just a normal slip stitch heel flap and gusset. This is my first time doing a slip stitch heel flap and gusset with self-striping yarn, and I'm really happy with it. So these will be done eventually. He has size, it's kind of in between a size 12 and a size 13 men's US size foot. So yeah, these take forever, but I do like knitting in movies. We went and saw Rocket Man on Thursday, I think, but I did not bring these socks. I brought my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks because they weren't very far at that point. So, but yeah, I do like movie knitting, so maybe we'll just have to go to another movie and I'll bring these guys that time. So that is all I have for sock knitting. I do have 2 sweaters on the go right now though, so I guess we'll jump into those. So the first one I will show you guys is my Tanya. This is by Caitlin Hunter. I am knitting this out of Sweet Fiber Yarns on her Super Sweet sock base. It's an 80/20 in the colorway Rose Gold. Rose Gold. Super pretty. It's I don't even know how to describe it. It's rose gold. There. And once I get this yarn untangled here, it's in a bag by That Crafty Little Fox. Yep, That Crafty Little Fox. So, there's my progress keeper. That little taco there is where I was last time. So I've got a lot done. Taco is by Sucre Miniatures as well, if I didn't say that. But yeah, I've got a lot done. So you have to knit, I'm knitting a size small, and you have to knit the body, this is knit bottom up, until it reaches, I think, 14 inches. So I have quite a way to go still, but this has kind of been my project when I really, really don't want to think, because I guess socks, I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, but I have a lot of stockinette projects on the needles right now. Maybe that's why I haven't been getting a lot of work done on my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. So maybe I'll have to put my Tanya aside for a while so I can get those socks done. But I am using helical knitting for this project. So basically, let's see if I can flip this. No, I'm not going to do that. But basically, it stops you from getting that seam line up the inside of your knitting like you would if you were just regularly alternating skeins. You do have to alternate every row, but it's so easy that you don't even realize that you're doing it. So yeah, I love helical knitting. It makes sweater knitting so much easier. I'm trying to think what else I can say about this. I think I'm using the call for needles. I don't know what the call for needles are, but I'm using a 3.5 millimeter US 4 to knit this up. So yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say about it since I'm just knitting stockinette right now. But I think this one is going to go aside for a little bit just because my next sweater, my Soldotna, is getting quite close to being done and I would like to get that finished up. So I think all of my attention is going to go to that for the next couple weeks. So my Soldotna is in another Birch Grove bag. This is her large size. And I am knitting the size small again. And needle size, sorry for looking at my notes over there. So for all of the color work, I'm using a 4mm needle. I believe that's a US 6. And for the ribbing, I used a 3.25, which I believe is a US 4, and a 3.75 for the stockinette portions of the body, which should be a US 5, I think. I believe. Oh, you know what? My Tegna is not the called for needle size. I think I went up a couple. And this, I'm using the called for needle size. I'm using the called for on my Soldotna. So I'm at the point on it where I think I need to put the body on waste yarn so I can try it on and just see where the length is sitting. I think I will end up making it a little bit longer than the pattern calls for because I don't want it super cropped. I'm okay with a little cropped, but I don't want it to be a belly shirt. So this is where I am at. So I think I have like half of the last repeat in the body to do, and then I will put it on waste yarn and try it on. This yarn is all from Suburban Stitcher. This color here is navy, and this teal color that's in the body is Neptune. The light blue is Frost, and the yellowy orangey color is Curry. Yeah, I just love this. It knits up so quickly. I've actually never knit a DK sweater before. I've just only ever knit fingering weight sweaters. So to see how quickly a DK weight sweater knits up is kind of crazy. But I'm very happy with it. I don't think I'll be able to wear it anytime soon because like today is supposed to be 27 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but that's very warm. So yeah, I think once this is finished, I'll put it on for pictures, and then it will be taking a break until the fall, which is kind of sad because I really like it. But it's kind of out of my comfort zone. It's very, 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 very patterned, but it's also very beautiful. I guess I didn't show here. That's how much I've got done since last time. So I definitely put more work into my Tanya. This is another one from Sucre Miniatures, the little peach. So yeah, this guy is top priority other than my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. So I don't have any finished objects this week for knitting. So that brings us to the end of the knitting portion. Make sure you keep an eye on my Instagram to see what I'm working on. I was really bad at posting last week just because we had some people, or not some people, one person visiting. My mother-in-law came to visit and help me with my garden, which looks so much better now. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's a weed and what isn't a weed. And so she helped me figure all of that out. So yeah, I wasn't very active posting in the past week, but I will get back to it. I try to post every day, every couple days. But yeah, keep an eye on there for updates about new patterns. Keep an eye on there for my Kindred Spirit socks release and the really, 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 really good coupon code that will be coming with that. And I hope you enjoyed. So if you were just here for the knitting, I think that's about it. If you're here to see the cross stitch as well, yay, I have lots to show you. And I actually have a fully finished object, which I realized I forgot to grab, so I'm going to have to go grab that quick. But yeah, I have lots to show you with cross stitch, so I hope you enjoy. And let's get started. I got it. So I guess let's start with my fully finished object since I'm holding it right now. This is one of the monthly cross stitches from Little House Needleworks, and I used all the called for colors. I stitched this up on a 32 count raw natural linen, and I fully finished it. So nothing crazy. I'm quite simple, but I mounted it on sticky board, and then I found this cute little wooden thing that has a stand at the back at Hobby Lobby. It was $4. So very, very simple. And I mounted this on here with, oh look, my magnet came off, with washers and magnets. Obviously I can only use one, or I can use just one magnet because it's holding up with just one. But yeah, I did it that way so that I can switch out every month when I get them finished. I don't have much else to say about that. I'm very happy. It's exciting to actually have some cross stitch up in my house because I really don't have much up otherwise. I keep finishing things, but I don't keep fully finishing them. So it's nice to have this done. And while we're on the topic of finished objects, I did finish my rose cottage by Hands On Design. I'm so excited to have this finished. And I'll pull up my notes on it here quick in my notebook. If you didn't know, I have this notebook going for my cross stitch projects. I almost think I should do something like this for knitting. It's nice just to know what everything is made out of and what I used. But I'll show you Rose Cottage here so you have an idea. So basically, I write down when I started, well, the pattern obviously, when I started it, when I ended it, and then what fabric and threads that I used. And if I substituted something, I'll write what was called for and what I ended up using. So with this pattern, I stitched it up on 28 count black Jobelan, and the only thread that I did substitute was, so they called for Vista Dyeworks blue jeans, but it was out of stock, so I just ended up using Classic Colorworks, no, Gentle Arts dungarees. No, I didn't. Well, I have zero idea where the pattern even ended up. I don't know if I used dungarees. It's sticking out into my head that I used something that was Classic Colorworks. I'll see if I can find it after. But the blue is not what's called for. That's basically what I'm getting at. So, if I hold it over here, I think the light's better. There it is. I am so excited that this is done. It is absolutely gorgeous. It was so much fun to stitch. Like, so much fun. I love that you can just, or what I did mostly, was outline all the white and then fill it in. But I just can't get over how pretty this is. And I can't figure out how the heck I want to finish it fully or where I want to put it. I think by my front door somewhere maybe. I want to be able to see it all the time because it's just the most beautiful thing I've ever done. But, and I have to say, I'm pretty proud of the back of this. Like, that looks pretty good. So, this is my first time, let's see if I can find some to show you guys. This is my first time doing Smyrna crosses, and I love them. They're so cute. So yeah, this is my Rose Cottage by Hands On Design. I'm in love. I think I will do the summer part that comes along with it. It's just a little banner that says summer, because I have tons of fabric left on the bottom here. That really blew everything out. But I have tons of fabric left on the bottom, so I definitely have room to stitch that up. So I think I will do that eventually. I'd like to get all the houses done for every season first, though, just so I can switch those out. Have them done before the seasons. It's technically not summer yet, so I have time. Or I'm ahead of schedule, something like that. So yeah, I'm really stoked to have that done. It looks gorgeous. I can't wait to put it up. So the next thing that I have been putting a lot of work into is the Hello Pumpkin Sal by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I finished the first clue and the second clue came out last week, so I've been working on that a little bit. I am stitching this up on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha, and I'm using all the called for DMC. And that is what I have going right now. I love it. It's so whimsical. I'm usually the type of person who likes to stitch more like vintagey, primitive sort of things, but I just love the colors on this. And I love fall. Fall's my favorite season, so I knew that no matter what this ended up being, I would love it. So the pumpkins are just super cute. So yeah, that's what I have going for my Hello Pumpkin Stitch Along by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And then I don't think I showed this last time. This is in a bag by Pretty Southern. And the previous project, I don't have a picture of what it's going to look like when it's finished, obviously. And I haven't printed off the pattern. I just look at it on my computer. But this is Love Abide by Lottie Da. There we go. So I've been putting a decent amount of work into this. This I'm stitching up on another 36 count fabric. 36 count Patriots Brew. 36 count Patriots Brew. And I don't know. I'm going to cover my face and hope that I'm showing you what I need to. There we go. So I've got the alphabet done. I'm almost all the way to the other side. So that little zigzag there, there's just going to be another squirrel above it, and I have to finish the flower. And then this whole box will be done. And I just have to finish the zigzaggy thing underneath. If I pull out the pattern here, usually I start at the top left corner, but I just figured it would be easier to start at the bottom on this one because that kind of sets the whole width of the pattern. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to having this one done. Again, I don't know where I'm going to put it in my house, but it's beautiful and I want to put it somewhere. So we don't have any art really on our walls or any pictures or anything like that. So anytime I pick something to stitch, it's because I know I want it out on my walls. So, oopsies. I guess I do have the one piece of cross stitch out now, the June one, but that's not on my walls. That's just sitting on a shelf. So that kind of defeats the covering the walls thing. And then this is a new start that you guys have not seen yet. I am working this. I cannot talk today. I am working on this for a stitch along hosted by Pumpkin Hollow Quilts and someone else that I can't remember, but is the Basket of Cherries stitch along. And this is in a bag by Erica D. House. She has a podcast, or not a podcast, a Flosstube here on YouTube. I'll make sure she's linked down below. Absolutely beautiful. And this is Basket of Cherries. It's really, really tiny, a really quick stitch. I should have had it done by now, but I'm using the Call for DMC, and I'm not a fan of the colors that it has picked or called for the Bluebird. They're not really blue. Actually, I'll pull them out. Let's see. So it calls for DMC 646 and DMC 3787. So these are in floss away bags, but I don't know if you can tell, those don't look blue to me. They're like grayish green. So I need to go through my box of floss and kind of pick out something different for the bird, because I don't want a green bird, I want a blue bird. So that's kind of why this has been on hold. Otherwise I think I would have had it done. I'm stitching this on 32 count cocoa linen, and that's all I've got done. Just a little bit of the border there. I love it. It's really pretty. It stitches up fast, but yeah, I'd kind of got to the point where the bird is supposed to be right here, and I didn't like the color, and I didn't feel like going through my floss box to pick out something else for the bird. So that's been on hold. But I will get that finished. The sale started June 1st, and I'll try and make sure I put the hashtag for it down below, or I'll link Pumpkin Hollow Quilts at least, so you guys can join in. And then back on the topic of the Little House Needleworks monthly monthly cross stitches. Another pretty southern bag. This is my July. So, oh no, it got bent. That is July right there. So I kind of got distracted and stopped working on this as well. I'm stitching this up on 32 count raw natural, just like the last one. And that's what I have done. I should pull this out and get it finished up because it will go really quickly. But yeah, just using the call for colors. They come with the pattern, so of course I will use those. And I'm looking forward to having that done so I can get it put up on that little wooden stand. I have one more thing to show you guys, and this is in another pretty southern bag. Absolutely my favorite bags. And this is the fall portion of the hands-on design chalk for the home. This is Sunflower Manor. So I started this like the next day after I finished Rose Cottage. I just love them. They're so pretty. Like, I want to stitch everything chalk on black fabric now, seriously. So yeah, 32 count black Jobelan like the previous one, just so they all end up the same size. And this is what I've got done so far. I'm going to try and put the bag behind it so it's a bit easier to see. There we go. Yeah, I love it. I love outlining it and being able to fill it in, and it's just so pretty. And it's so unique. It's so different than any other cross stitch thing I've seen before. So, such a beautifully designed pattern. And I'm using all the called for colors on this one, and I can't wait to have it done. So, yeah, but I need to give it a break. I like to put so much attention into this because it's my favorite, but I have so many other pretty things that I bought because they were my favorite at some point, so they need to get some attention too. So there you have it. That is all of my cross stitch and knitting that I've worked on the past 2 weeks. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you found some inspiration. Thank you so much for coming and spending the last 45 minutes with me. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy. If you haven't subscribed already, please do that. And if you haven't hit that little bell button, do that as well, because that will let you know when I upload my next video. I try to upload every 2 weeks, but things kind of get off once in a while depending on what's going on in my life. But yeah, I really, really cannot thank you enough for joining me and spending your time watching me and seeing what I'm working on. It's just great, and I'm rambling because I never know what to say at the end of these, so I guess I'll just finish it off. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great next 2 weeks. We'll see you soon. Bye.